Hello there, and welcome to this week's presentation about being a music critic. This presentation will cover some specific responsibilities of being a music critic and how you judge a musical performance. So let's get started. So first of all, let's start with what is a music critic? Well, the main responsibility of a music critic is to attend or listen to performances and write a critique or an evaluation of that performance. And of course, critics can work for many different places. They can work for newspapers, for websites, they can work for professional music companies, CD distributors. There's many different places that critics can work. Sometimes their reviews can appear on CD covers or CD labels. They of course appear in newspapers and online all the time. Now, when you go to critique something, let's say you're going to go to a concert, a live performance, there are some things that you would look for. You can critique things such as the venue. How is the place where the performance is happening? How are the acoustics in that place? Does it fit the performance? Of course, musical quality. How good is the actual music itself? And we'll get to that in a minute. But presentation, was it visually good? Did the visual effects match the musical effects? How did the audience react? What was their response to the music? Was it what was expected? Was there hype before the performance? You also could look at things like sales figures. How much did the tickets sell? How full is the audience? And is that a reflection of the music being performed? So there are a lot of things that you can cover outside of the music part of it in being a music critic, and a lot of those things can apply to the overall performance. Now, being a music critic, of course, has lots of opinion. You may not like the venue or the performance hall. You may not like the way the audience reacted, and you feel they should have reacted differently. So there is a lot of opinion in writing a music critic, but there also can be fact. And that fact comes in the criteria used to judge a musical performance. And so we're now going to look at those criteria that can be used to judge a musical performance. So first of all, one of the things you can listen for when you judge a performance is timbre. We've talked about timbre already, and we've talked about how that's the unique sound or tonal quality of an instrument or voice. So you can do a critique on the timbre. How was the quality of the singers? Were their voices crisp and clear and warm, or were they harsh and hard to listen to? How were the harmonies? How did they sing together? Did their timbres match if it was a large group of singers? How about the instruments? Were the instruments used effectively? Were they played well? Was the timbre of the instruments fitting what the music was doing? An example of that would be if you're going to go to a rock band concert, say, some of the older bands like Metallica or U2. What types of instruments would you expect to hear there? Of course, drum set and guitar and rhythm guitar and some pretty loud vocals. It's not unheard of, but it's very uncommon to have maybe string instruments, to have an orchestra there at a rock concert, or to have a wind section, trombones and trumpets. Sometimes those happen, but that would be unusual, and so that would be something that you could critique. How did those instruments do in the performance? The next thing you want to look at is technique. And that relates to the skills of the performers themselves. How well was the music performed? Did you hear wrong notes? Did you hear harmonies that were bad? In the guitar solos, how was their technique? Were there virtuosic, meaning just amazing performances? Were the solos well done? Did it look like the performers knew what they were doing on their instruments? That's basically what technique is. There's two other things that you can look for, and that is the presentation. How was the choice of music? Did the music fit the situation? Was it a greatest hits tour? Was it a new CD promotion tour? What was it, and did the music fit that? How about the non-musical aspects? That relates to the hall, where the concert is being performed, the acoustics of that place. And then the last criteria you can look at is what is the impact. How did the music impact the audience? Were there emotional responses from the music? Uh, did it create excitement, enthusiasm? Did it create mellowness? What was the impact that was visible on the audience based on the music being performed? Okay, so those are the four main things that you use to evaluate a music performance that can be based on fact. Timbre of the instruments, the technical quality of the performance, the presentation, and the impact. Now what I'd like you to do is watch the next presentation that gives a specific example of a music critique, and then I'd like you to visit that website there and read some of the critiques that are there. It's called musiccritic.com. And then the last thing I'm going to have you do is go to the glog that is there listed and do some critiques of your own.